Hello everyone, welcome to the Selkares Wargaming channel for this new replay commentary on Wargame Island Battle. So yes, I told you some videos ago that I wouldn't make English replays anymore because I don't have time, but this is a bit exceptional. The replay was sent to me by English players, well, at least English speaking players, so I'm taking the time to commentate it. And secondly, it's my first commentary on the Conquest game mode, so I thought it would be interesting to make it in English also. But keep in mind that most of my replays will still be only in French, because I don't have the time to commentate them both in French and English. So this is the first replay commentary I'm making in the Conquest with the Conquest game mode. So before we start, two small things about the map and then about the game mode. First, the map has been changed a little. Foxtrot sector, as you may have noticed, has been changed. It previously was big like this, was covering both sides of the bridge, this industrial complex here and this one also. This has been changed for a simple reason. If you look at the map closely, players that started on India have a quick access to Golf, Hotel, Juliet and Echo. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sectors. On the other side, Bravo had access to Alpha, Charlie and Delta, 1, 2, 3, 4 sectors, and Foxtrot being highly contested because it had both a both teams could cap it from either side of the bridge. So that meant that 5 sectors were in the hands of the red players here starting in India, and 4 sectors only were in the hands of the blue players starting in Bravo. And that was a big balance issue. In Destruction, it was only economic balance issue, and these guys could still win if they played better than the other guys, but in Conquest it's a different matter because you have to control all the sectors. Second little issue with this map, it's a 3v3 map, and the problem I have with this map is that it gives a high income, 8, 5, 4, 3 and 4. It's quite big, but has a lot of water on the left and the right, meaning that most of the units are concentrated just on this very small front line over here and this tiny little bridge, meaning that all the income, all the units you recruit are sent over here, meaning that it doesn't give really interesting games. They are all concentrated on this side of the map, and which means you have a big concentration of units. It's quite fun to watch, and this replay is quite interesting, that's why I'm commentating it, but I honestly don't really like that much games on this map. Last little thing, the Conquest game mode. Conquest game mode is a new mode that has been added with the DLC. This is how it works. You capture sectors for the income as usual. The only difference is that the team with the most income earns victory points equal to the difference of income between the two teams. So let's say this team has Bravo and Charlie. It has 8 and 5 income, making 13. The other team only has India, which is 8. Blue team has 5 incomes more than the red team, so it has plus 5 victory points every 4 seconds. That's how it works. So let's go now for the game. It's a 60-minute game, 800 points victory point goal, and starting probably with 1000 points for each player. So very different deployment for both teams. The PLF playing Pact over here, represented by the Monkey King, Buck, Turgidson and Johnny, start with a lot of units, but on the no unit side, represented by the Lemieux, Binks and Repeat, who are just killing a MiG-23 ML right now with Tomcat. They start with very few units, in fact just in time, and are probably going to spawn the units after capturing Charlie. Yeah, here. As you can see here, no unit has 8 and 5, 13 points, and only 8 over here, making a difference of 5 points. They have plus 5 points every 4 seconds, and they already have 5 out of 800 points in this Conquest game mode. So this is a mode that is it has some big flaws, of course, as usual, yeah, but it is better in my opinion than any other game mode, especially Conquest, because it pushes at least the losing team to attack, making more dynamic games. So it's quite interesting. So as I thought, all the units are spawned right out of Charlie to make a defensive and why not offensive force right over here. Both teams are balanced, they have the same amount of sectors, so there is still a little bug in the Conquest game mode. As you can see, NATO has +1 here, but they both have the same number of income, 8, 4 and 5, 8, 4 and 5. So there's a little display bug. Just don't panic, it is just a display bug. The NATO players don't earn +1 every 4 seconds, it's just a display bug, so no big deal. Just have to remember that, well, it's not totally representative of the total points. It's a small bug that appears from time to time. First little encounter is right here. The NATO players, the nominated players, have been able to go through the bridge, well, go over the bridge, sorry, and capture a few sectors over here. So they are starting the offensive on the right side with a few units, with a Fusiliers and Delta Force squad, and they are facing Selkares over here, and the PLF will have to react to that, but that's no big deal for now. Yeah, still one commander coming in on Juliet over here, one commander coming in on, which is this one, Alpha over here, one recon chopper over here to make sure no unit is coming, even if it doesn't have a very good line of sight just behind the hill. Oh well, it's still able to detect helicopters that come over here, so that's pretty good. So for now it's just a bit of positioning. Both teams have taken control of their sectors. They all have the same amount of points. As you can see here, still a small display bug. A very small advantage for the PLF, which is actually just not an advantage at all. 8 to 7. One MiG-23P coming in here to destroy the Cayuse. And the helicopter is down. So just to remind you guys, destruction points aren't taken into account in this game mode, so you can lose units, it doesn't really matter. If you lose 2 Leopards to a force, for instance, it doesn't really matter. You won't give points to the enemy. The thing that matters on the other side, on the other hand, is that losing them means you won't be able to recruit them, and having only 4 in your decks, well, it's quite a drawback if the game lasts long. Well, that's a long time, and you don't have any more units at the end. I already played games in Conquest where I had no more supplies at the end because I used them so much with my... I had a Canadian deck and the ADATs, and used a lot of supply, and it was just so consuming that I had no more supplies at the end of the game. Pretty hard to play with that. So I'm going to speed things up a bit because there's nothing really going on. It's a little offensive over here. T-62s B1s and BMP-1Ds coming in, supported by 2 Strela 10Ms, which are anti-helicopter, anti-air units. They are moving a bit forward, shooting a bit over here and over there, but no real impact. A lot of mortars have been called in, killing the BMPs 1Ds with the tanks over here. And well, not much to say. Right now it's just a bit of a few units sent in forward to see what's happening. No big deal right now. Both teams are just observing, looking at each other. Fuck, I forgot the name. Sometimes I just mix up the words. Looks like the PLF team is starting to shell a bit on the right side here. We had a few units coming in. We have a bit of napalm here to kill a bit of the units. Unfortunately, the Fusiliers are out of the flames. Well, unfortunately for the PLF team, of course, they aren't hurt. A few units sent on the left side here. It's just the empty transports of the infantry squads here, the Conquest and the Igla, coming forward to kill a few units. The USR here, the French recon troops, are just killed in the open by the Soviet transports over here. So for now it's just a bit of observation of both teams. They are looking at each other, trying to figure out where to attack, and as I told you at the start of the game, it's quite a small map, a bit too much of water. It's a very beautiful map, but not a really good map to play on in my opinion, and it's too damn tight, and you've got everything just concentrated over here. So it's just grouping units and moving forward. Actually, no real possibility to go around the enemy and do flanking maneuvers. It's a bit of a shame, but that's how the map is. So yeah, for now a bit of some units here. The T-62s are killed by the Ontos, which are American recoilless rifles. 15 AP, quite good, with a very nice rate of fire, 13 rounds per minute, which is really nice. I think they fire like 8 or 6 rounds really quickly and then have a long reload time, which is pretty fun. A bit like the Roland anti-air, they fire 2 missiles pretty quickly and then take a long time to reload. It's a few tips like that that you need to know when you play the game. You don't have only to look at the rate of fire, you need to also to know how the unit works. A bit of a helicopter killed here, but the plane is destroyed afterward, which is pretty bad. Well, in terms of points it's bad, but we are on to destruction, so it's okay, but losing a plane is always a big loss. You don't have that many planes in your deck, so one more plane coming in, SU-7BKL, which is a napalm bomber. Maybe it will go over here. Not sure, where is he going? Oh, okay, he just sent a napalm bomber to attack with his autocannon on the Black Hawk. Yeah, why not? And 4 planes coming in, but they didn't kill 4 Tomcats. That's a lot of Tomcats. So for now, a bit of a shelling here. They are popping smoke on the Foxtrot sector. This is maybe the start of the offensive. We have a lot of infantry squads coming through the over the bridge over here. They are starting the offensive. Smoke, infantry. We've got some flames over here with the Buratino. Very, very nice fire over here. Infantry coming in on the left side also. They are starting a big push on Foxtrot. The NATO players have a nice recon here. The L3304. Allowing them to see what's happening here, even with the smoke, and they are shelling it. But even with the shelling, well, the Afghanski are shooting at the commander, and Foxtrot isn't controlled anymore. The commander has to pull back. It was, I have to say, a bit badly placed over here, too closely to the bridge, making it vulnerable to enemy crossings here. That allows the commander moving, allowed the PLF to capture a few points, 23-7. It's not enough here to make a major victory, but it still is a nice operation for the PLF units, PLF players, sorry. BMP-1Ds and infantry squads are still moving forward through the fire. They are now burning in their own fire, which is a bit, it's a bit weird. They should have shot the Buratino first, wait the end of the fire, and then pop smoke and charge in, I think. Infantry squads coming in and taking control of the different sectors. We've got a lot of Motorstrike, Mutschützen, and the same coming in. So we've got Russian and East German forces coming in. We've got 2 tanks coming in, so T-64 BV-1s. These are the new tanks that were introduced to the Soviets. 2 Soviet tanks, 1 Soviet tank, sorry, introduced in the new DLC. It's the same as the T-64 BV, but without the ATGM. It's a bit cheaper and doesn't have the ATGM, which is quite nice. And just explosive bombs, and the commander is down on Foxtrot, allowing the PLF players to, well, deny the control of the sector of Foxtrot and earn 3 points every 4 seconds. Their points are moving forward, they're moving up, and this offensive, even if it's quite costly for the pack players, well, it allows them to take the lead in this game. And well, this is definitely going to be a major victory if nothing changes. Well, this is interesting. This will, at least if no units survive this push, this will oblige them to counter-attack and give us normally a nice offensive somewhere else in the game, unless no units just wait their death until the end of the game. So for now, lots of shots by the Buratino unit that still deals a lot of damage. All the units are burning over here. It's very black. That's stupid to say. It's a huge offensive, a lot of fire, a lot of explosions, a lot of infantry here. The Leopard 1A4s were coming in to help, but the 64 BV1s and the T-80Us on the left side here just slaughtered the tanks. No unit is in a pretty bad position. They have the tanks here and the units to resist. The pack players will have a hard time to continue their offensive, but they at least have contested the sector over here. A new commander is coming in, but the PLF players have already earned more than 90 points here by the time the commander will arrive, 92 points, and it is a nice little advantage here. The commander is coming in. Will it be shot at by the tank? Probably not. The tanks are panicked, and the commander is going through the fire. Yeah, it's going through the fire. Hell, why not? The fire is out. Commander is taking some hits, 1 HP lost, and more units coming in. The Motorstrike have taken position here. There are very few left, but more of them are coming in, and it's gonna be very hard for the no units to retake their sector and come back in the games in the race for victory points. On the left side, nothing really going on. Oh, we have a nice infantry spam here. Well, recruit, let's just say recruit. Nice recruiting of infantry here to counter-attack on Echo. Quite an interesting move here. More shelling, and once again the commander is pulled back over here. The commander isn't capping the sector, allowing the PLF players to continue their earnings of victory points, 137 and 140 points earned for now. Still 264 BVs in the forest over here, BMP-1Ds coming in, TO-55 is coming in. The NATO players have better tanks in the area, but they still haven't retaken the Foxtrot sector. They are in quite a bad position here right now. Infantry squads coming in over here in the M6 Mosgris. These are probably just 5 points infantry squads. We'll see later on when they disembark. Yeah. And if they counter-attack on Echo, it's going to be quite hard. They have a lot of Motostrelki, BMP-1Ds, and well, that's pretty much it, but that's quite enough to stop an infantry attack. Back on Foxtrot, the command has moved again and recapped Foxtrot sector. The tanks are still in the forest here, but they are in a very bad shape. One of them is panicked, the other is panicked and has only 2 HPs left, so they are pretty much going to die sooner or later. Leopard 2A4s here are counter-attacking on the left side. One THU has been killed. There were 2 of them. One of them has poked back and is taking a few shots. Leopard 2A4s are still moving forward, but they are... Ooh, just missed the missile here by the Super Étendard. They are under fire by both the THU and the ME-28 Havoc. Nice shot here with the Super Étendard. The THU is killed. But the Super Étendard will probably be killed. Here it goes down, and the helicopter here kills one Leopard 2A4, and the second one is pulling back. So counter-offensive over here didn't work. The resistance here was good, but the PLF players still managed to uncap the sector here for a few minutes. Well, at least a few seconds, and giving them a nice 160 points advantage over the new unit players. So now this is getting interesting. The game has been unlocked, if I may say so, and the no units will have to counter-attack somewhere to regain the points they have given to the enemy. Let's speed things up a bit. There's nothing going on right now. Still a bit of shooting over here against the Motostrelki and the THU killing the recon over here. And here we go, the offensive is starting on the left side. A bit of smoke here popped out, very very nice. The Motostrelki are coming in and disembarking from them are the 5-point infantry squad of the Danish team. Here, Himmer Varnet, and don't lousy pronunciation of course. SU-25T killing an on-tours that's and destroyed. That's a pretty bad trade, to be honest. Infantry squads coming in, they are being shot at by the Motostrelki of course, but also by the BMP-1Ds that have moving forward. Apparently they are all stuck together, they are all panicked. It's going to be very very hard for them to attack the area. Looks like the offensive isn't as efficient as the no unit players would have liked it to be. They haven't even taken control of the first sector over here, and well, it's going pretty bad actually. And I'm closing the window. Chieftain MacD is getting killed by the ME-24V5s here, or V-24V, and the ME-28. The infantry squads are getting totally slaughtered by the rockets, the BMP-1Ds, the machine gun here, the Motostrelki. It's an offensive that didn't work out well at all. Over here the tanks are being killed, only one of them is left. And transports are being killed by ATGMs, of course, why not? And there we go, offensive totally destroyed by the Soviet defenses over here. The infantry squads were probably a bit too much regrouped, and they were totally slaughtered by the rockets, as you can see here. Huge amounts of destructed terrain, and similar over here, it's all black, you have holes everywhere. Yeah, there was a very big fight over here, and the counter-offensive of the no unit players wasn't efficient at all. They just killed like 40 Motostrelki over here and maybe 10 more over here, but that's pretty much it. The counter-offensive has been a total failure, to be honest. So for now, PLF are in a good spot. They have They are ahead in this game, and they have stopped the no unit counter-offensive, allowing them to be quite well in at the 23-minute mark. Another thing quite interesting in this game mode is putting two commandos on the same sector. As you can see here, the PLF players are putting two commandos on Golf. They've got two over here on Hotel, one on whoa, something's going on over here. One over here on Juliet. It may be expensive, but on a map like this, where all the units are concentrated over here, having two commandos on the same sector is quite nice, and it prevents from losing a sector stupidly to artillery or a small infantry infiltrated squad. It's quite nice. Over here on the right side, looks like the no-unit players are reacting to their little loss. They are trying to maybe attack the sector. They were counting on it being very, very lightly defended. Unfortunately, we have a lot of Tunguskas. The Lynx AH7 are coming in. They are getting totally destroyed by the Tunguskas, and the Royal Marines are disembarking as they can from the exploded carcasses of the helicopters. They are moving forward, and Cobras are coming in. Trying to kill the commander. The commander is under fire over here. This Tunguska has a firing computer preset problem, so it has to pull back. It can't shoot anymore. The Cobras are coming in, and the commander has to pull back a little bit if he doesn't want to get killed. So that allows the no-unit players to regain a few points in this game. One more Tunguska is shooting at the Cobras. Will the last missile hit? Yes, the last missile hit, and the commander is now in a good position. It isn't killed, is just a bit panicked, but has lost no single HP. So for now, the no-unit counter with, well, little offensive on the right side, they managed to recap a few points, but not enough to come back in the game. They still have 124 points to catch up with the PLF army. One Su-27S coming in to just kill infantry squads on the ground. We have a few OH-58CS behind to defend the infantry from helicopters, but this is pretty much the end of this offensive. All the helicopters have been slaughtered. The few Royal Infantry Marines are going to get killed. It's just a matter of time. They are going to get slaughtered on the right side over here. Back over here, nothing really interesting to report. Both teams have regained their positions and redefended their different hot points. We've got infantry and tanks over here. We've got recon units and tanks over here. Same over here. So for now, it's just a face-to-face, an observation moment in this game. I'm going to speed things up once more. The MiG here is killing helicopters, but is getting killed in return. So once again, not a nice loss over here. But the no-unit players are pulling back. They have lost every single unit that was trying to attack on the right side of this map. So 167 points to 59, and for now, well, pretty bad situation for the no-units. They will have to reorganize and attack somewhere to, well, to hope coming back in this game. And why not winning it, but for now it's pretty much compromised. They have, in 10 seconds, they have 30 minutes left to counter-attack, so we are just at half time of the game, and it's looking quite hard for the no-units. Let's see what they are going to do. Well, they are at least for now trying to accumulate a lot of commandos, a lot of heavy tanks. Sorry, we've got 4 M1A1 Abrams, 2 more coming in, Challenger 1, Roland 2 coming in to support them against the helicopters and the planes. They are moving forward, trying to take out this sector. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, this map is quite tight, and the defensive position are really, really strong. As you can see here, you've got Tunguska, you've got 40 Motorcycle here, 20 Conquest over here, 8 Igla over here, and you're gonna have more coming in. Yeah, here we go. We've got T-64 BV1s coming in over here, 4 of them coming in, and more infantry, ATGM infantry, more tanks. It's going to be very, very hard to attack. Let's see how the no units deal with this increased defense, and will they be able to take out Golf? Let's speed things up a bit. Everything calm right now on the right side and more or less in the middle. We've got a couple of hussars coming in. They are seeing the BRDM to you, and the no units are shelling the commander. And that's where a second commander over here is really nice. They haven't lost echo, allowing them to stop a potential victory point earning for the no units, which is pretty nice. Grads recruited, shooting at the enemy army, dealing as usual very little damage but a lot of morale damage. Every single unit is totally stunned, and that will totally well, if they try to attack with these units, it's going to be really hard. They are all stunned. They will take a lot more time to reload and shoot at enemy units. We've got another salvo of Lars 2 over here at the enemy here, and they are all stunned also, so the ATGMs will have a hard time shooting at the target. Unfortunately for the NATO players, these guys aren't the only defense units over here. We've got 64 BV1s on the right and on the left. It's going to be really hard, and it looks like the NATO players have realized that they even have a couple of tanks up on the hill here dealing a lot of damage, and the heavy tanks are pulling back. They are attacked from every area possible, on the right, on the front, on the left, and it's going to be impossible for them to go through this line of defense and take the Gulf sector. Totally impossible. So they are right now, well, losing a few tanks, so just really light vehicles. And well, the Abrams are still moving forward and trying to shoot at the enemy tanks. These guys have been killed, which is a nice well, and one of them is pulling back, which is quite nice, removing the threat from the right side, so they may try to re-attack, but as you can see, all these concourse, it's just too much for these tanks. One Abrams has half his HPs, the other one is panicked, the other one also has 6 HPs, so it's really hard. One more recon killed, and the NATO offensive totally stopped and is pulling back. Over here the command has moved a little, giving a few points to the no unit, 71 points, so they are coming back slowly, really slowly actually, but they really need a decisive offensive to come back in this game. 24 minutes left in the game, and for now they are still looking for a little window to attack. Apparently the heavy tanks from the left side are coming in on the right over here. We've got M1A1 Abrams over here, Challenger 1, more tanks coming in. Infantry disembarking just over here with the Hussar, the French recon squads, and all the tanks coming in. Apparently they are changing strategy. The offensive on the left side isn't possible apparently, so they are trying to attack in the middle right onto Foxtrot, and we'll see how this goes. On the right side, a few skirmish here, and no real damage to be reported. A few tanks killed, but no real loss in terms of terrain. And over here we go. The heavy tanks have moved up the hill and start shooting at the Motoselki. For now, there aren't really that much heavy tanks in front of them to stop them. A couple of T-64 PV1s, and they are calm, so it's quite okay. They are being shelled by the last two and the... I'm not sure where it is. Well, not interesting. Okay. Jaegers coming in, trying to destroy the Motoselki in the sectors over here. Heavy tanks everywhere. M1A1, Challenger 1, Leopard 2A4. For now, it's a big offensive. As you can see, all these heavy tanks recruited, they have accumulated apparently a lot of points, and they are sending in everything they've got onto Echo. The PLF guys will have a hard time to stop this. They will need to send in more troops. They've got T-64 BV1 coming in, T-62s, a lot of tanks coming in. They've got helicopters supporting them right behind them with nice ATGMs. Well, not that good, but still okay with 15 AP. And the NATO players just charging into the Echo sector. Infantry coming in, the MAW, the MO coming in with their nice rockets with 18 AP. They are moving forward. The Jaegers have taken control of the sector over here. Heavy tanks moving forward. We've got every single heavy tank possible. The Abrams, the Challenger 1, the Leopard 2A4. Everyone is moving forward, and apparently the pack players are having a hard time stopping this huge offensive. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest. It's just a huge tactic, but it's quite nice to look at these kinds of sceneries from time to time. It's quite fun to see all those heavy tanks killing everything. The Abrams, the Challenger 1, Leopards, and a few light tanks also. Well, just Zippo actually. H-25 coming in, shooting at the tank, and being shot at in return. And that's where I regret a bit. It's still, even if you don't count the destruction points, I feel some players, of course the DLC has been out of new for a couple of days, so it's understandable, but players are still playing this like destruction. They are pushing in a sector, trying to hunt down the commander and kill the commander, but why on earth aren't you taking a new commander to put it over here? You have control of half the sector. Imagine if your offensive fails just here, you will have done that for nothing. Just sending in a commander, a 100-point commander, just instead of calling in a 4th Leopard to a 4, calling a nice commander and put it over here. It will allow you to contest the sector for a few seconds, even a few minutes, and you will be able to cap some points. If this offensive is stopped right now, this will have led to nothing. With this offensive, they are counting on destroying every single unit in Echo to hope earning some points, and it's pretty risky. At this point, nevertheless, it's still clear that they have a big chance of winning with every single heavy tank they've got. They have a huge advantage over here, but it still would be nice to see a commander sent in on Echo during the offensive. So the Chieftains, the Challenger 1s, the Abrams are just moving forward. It's just a big attack click. It's just move forward and kill everything there's in front of us. Well, yeah, the enemies are just getting overwhelmed. Heavy tanks are coming in, but they are all killed one by one. It's a big slaughter, and as you can see, the pack players still have control of the sector. So one commander, I'm repeating myself, I know, but I think it's something quite important. Send in a commander and capture the damn zone. The last tanks are being killed, the last commander is killed, and finally the zone is contested, is neutral. One commander has been sent to control the zone, and plus 3 points now for the NATO players, allowing them to come back slowly and catch the PLF players in terms of victory points. One more grad shelling, doesn't deal a lot of damage as usual. Deals a lot of morale damage, but it's a bit late. There's nothing here to shoot at the NATO tanks, so they'll just wait a few seconds and come back to a calm status. Well, it's a huge offensive. It's just a huge attack, and it's pretty impressive. It's not that interesting strategy-wise, but it's fun to watch. The MPT is coming in. You can't see that much without the HUD, but if you put the HUD, well, a lot of units. Oh, they removed the glowing effects. I didn't realize that. That's really nice. Yeah, well, huge amount of heavy tanks. There's nothing really the pack players can do. One more BMPT apparently moving forward, one more coming in. I know these units are quite nice, but what's the point of sending them when you've got 20 heavy tanks in front of you? It's, well, it looks like the pack players are in a real bad position here. 152 points, the NATO players have pretty much caught up with the enemies. We've got 2 commanders coming in. Once Echo is capped, it's gonna be pretty much GG. Well, depends on the packed players, but honestly, what can they do? Attack over here? No. Heavy tanks over here, just position them on top of the hill and kill everything that comes below. Attack on Echo? No. Out of the question. Too many heavy tanks, too much heavy tanks. Attack on Foxtrot is honestly the only possibility, but I'm wondering at this point, do the packed players have enough infantry left to attack over here? Maybe they could, well, it's gonna be quite hard, honestly. And even if they attack here, if they don't put units here, the new units will just have to continue their offensive with all their heavy tanks and go and destroy a hotel quite easily. So let's speed things up a bit more over here. The major offensive has been stopped. Well, it hasn't been stopped, it just stopped by itself. They captured the sector, so they just are waiting now for their points to go up. Already 280 points to 167. The PLF team is in a really bad position here. I can't really see them coming back. At this point, they need to coordinate their offensive and attack all together at the same point, at the same same area. Unfortunately, we've got attack on the left, attack on the right. It's a bit too much divided. This is a game mode that pushes teams to attack in nice coordination at the same point to crack the enemy defenses, and dividing your troops isn't always that good, especially with a heavy defense like this one. And they attacked over here, a bit of smoke, a bit of tanks, but the NATO defense is too big. Everything is totally slaughtered by the NATO defense. And yeah, 12 minutes to go, and we've got nearly 500 points for the NATO players. Quite nice counter-offensive here by the NATO players. And PLF, yeah, there we go. The Monkey King surrenders. He knows they don't have enough time or maybe enough troops left in their decks to counter-attack. They have lost this game. Well, no unit won this game thanks to a really nice offensive on the Echo sector. Well, when I say nice, it's impressive. It was just a big attack click, actually. So there we go. Was like 500 points to 170. 48-minute game on Trondheim. Just avoid this map. It's quite beautiful, but it's not really that interesting. It's a bit too much. It's closed, actually. Just 2 big corridors, and that's it. So that's it for the Conquest mode. I'll be making more commentaries, but probably only in French. And of course, as you know, I've been making a poll. I'll be making ranked matches as soon as the Conquest game mode comes into ranked, but that isn't the case actually. So right now, so I'm gonna wait a little. I'm gonna make more commentaries in French, and I'm gonna make a let's play on the campaign. With the co-op campaign with a friend. I'm gonna make it both in French and without my French voice, so you'll be able to watch whichever one you prefer. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.